Ed and Lily. We will start our recording now. Good morning and welcome to the West Valley Unitarian Universalist Church in Glendale, Arizona, and welcome to our Zoom church service. I'm very happy you're here to join. My name is Barry Linden and I'm your worship associate and the co-host for the meeting. Paul Darling is the other co-host and is the one showing the slides and playing the videos and the music as needed. Parts of the service will be recorded and uploaded to our YouTube channel for later viewing. Due to copyright issues, some of the music will not be recorded, and we will also stop the recording prior to doing our joys and concerns at the end of the service. You are then free to unmute yourself and give your joy or concern without sharing it with the entire world. Following the formal part of the service, we will keep the meeting running for a while, just to allow you to talk to each other as you would in any fellowship hour. These words are from Marilyn Falkowski. We welcome you. We know you come here for different reasons: to find community, to seek your spiritual and personal truths, to question, to nurture your heart and soul, to be nurtured, to explore new ideas, to find comfort, and perhaps to find the answers to some of your bigger questions. We welcome you. We know you come from different places, different religions, different beliefs, and different backgrounds. We hope you will find comfort, connection, challenge, and love here. We hope you will find ways to provide outreach to others in our congregation, in our local community, and our world community. I also want to welcome you to spring today. Yesterday was the vernal equinox, the first day of spring. And every culture celebrates spring in some way. For Christians, it's often associated with Easter and rebirth. Today, we will hear about celebrating spring from a pagan and earth-based perspective. We can meditate on rebirth and renewal, as well as nature being in balance as we seek balance in our own lives. It is so good to see all of you here today. While we're not in the same place, I hope that all of us can find the connection we have missed so much during the past few months. Here are our opening words. Welcome Home by Rachel Rott. Welcome, you questioners, seekers of truth with a capital T, pilgrims longing for sanctuary, travelers needing harbor from the storm. Welcome those who are hanging on by a thread, determined breakers of the chains of loneliness and isolation. You push through your fear because something told you that you deserve to belong. Welcome home. Welcome those who braid ropes again and again. You've been here for our siblings who were just hanging on. You gave them a hand into community and told them they could rest here. Welcome you who seek spiritual and religious community for your children and grandchildren. You entrust your young people here as we, as a community, commit to nurture and respect them. Welcome, children and youth. You give us the gift of your wisdom, your joy, your curiosity, and your trust that we will hold it all safe. Welcome. Welcome home. How do we make this tender place wider? How do we stretch into a bolder welcome, a radical generosity of the heart? Can we imagine ourselves the stewards and ushers, not only into this space, but into our circle of belonging? Can we commit and recommit to being accountable to one another as an anti-racist, anti-oppressive community that centers marginalized voices, that listens to those voices, especially when what they are saying is hard to hear? Can we be willing to change? When we break our agreements with one another, can we offer amends? Can we be humble and generous? There is enough grace. There is grace enough here. There is in this place the possibility of healing, of repair, of making things right within ourselves, between us, and with the wider world. There is in this place possibility. Welcome home. I have received no notices of announcements for today. In the future, if you have announcements that you would like read aloud in the service, please send them to me, and I will make sure that the worship associate has them for the service. To begin our service, we will have the lighting of the chalice. Paul will light the chalice as I read from Sharon Wiley. Thank you, Paul. The Balance We Seek by Sharon Wiley. The hours of the day and night are in balance. The honor of earth-centered traditions that celebrate this time of year, we observe that the flaming chalice holds the elements of the four directions: earth, air, fire, and water. The lamp oil for earth, the air that feeds the flame, the fire that we light, and the chalice itself, the cup, the symbol of water. We light our chalice and reflect on the balance we seek in our lives, the balance we seek in our hearts, the balance we seek in the world. In some denominations, there is a creed that must be agreed to when joining. Since our beliefs are so diverse, we don't have that. Instead, we have aspirations for ourselves and this community. Please join me in reading our covenant as Paul puts it on the screen. Love is the doctrine of our congregation. The quest for truth is our holy right, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humankind in friendship, thus do we covenant. When we were meeting in person, Sharon Moore developed some readings on our UU principles, and we included them in our services to remind ourselves about our principles. Here is one. Sharon writes, Principle 7. To paraphrase Rabbi Hillel, respect the interdependent web of all existence. This is the one principle. The rest are commentary. We are a part, but just a part. No better than other parts, not special. Humans' capacity to empathize with others and to plan for the future, with some, although never sufficient, understanding of the consequences of our action, gives us extra responsibility to take on a role of stewardship. A role one creation story tells us Adam and Eve were given by God. But this extra responsibility does not set us apart from the rest of creation. Our responsibility to each other is not at all separate from our responsibility to the earth, because we too are a part of creation. Please let me share with you the following meditation. Communion with Earth and Sky by Stephen M. Schick. Early spring awakens memories of a deeper cold and hopes of a warmer wetness. sprouting seeds and budding branches. Gray trees on gray skies screen eyes from all that lies waiting. The color of a million flowers, the feathers of migrating songbirds, the blossoming smiles of friends. Soon we will no longer look to the night stars to guide us. Soon the path will be lit and our task certain. In the warming days, we will plant our future, uprooting useless skeletons of last year's harvest, breaking the clods of indifference, carefully pulling the weeds of neglect so that roots can stretch. Before the harvest moon rises and we again wait, images of still distant summer days awaken thoughts of a time when all is done that can be done. Then the harvest, then the transformation, then the baking, then the bread. All we know and love is in this cycle. All that has been or will be is in this loaf. Take it, break it, give thanks, and pass it on. We've reached the time in our service when we have the opportunity to give back to this congregation, to show your generosity and love. Even though we are not meeting in person, our bills and our commitments do go on. Without your generosity, the church cannot survive. Each UU church is a self-funding and self-sustaining entity. What would your life be like if you did not have this community in your life? What do we as a congregation add to the interdependent web of all existence? What do we add to your life? Soon we will have our annual canvas, our pledge drive, if you will. While we will not be giving out tote bags or mugs, your pledge and your honoring of that pledge allows us to survive and provide comfort, support, love, and meaning to your life. We will pause now to listen to the offertory. You can use this time to write your check to the church or use the link for PayPal. Thank you, Joe, and thank you, Paul, for recording that. And I thank all of you for your generosity. Our speaker today is Reverend Darren Reale. He ministers currently to two congregations, the Sacred Spiral Pagan Church in Mesa, and also as the guest minister for our UU congregation here. He's been involved in the pagan community since 1985, joining the Modesto UU Church in California and its pagan CUUP group in 1983. And he became a Wiccan, pagan priest in 2018. He started a CUPS meeting acting chapter here at the West Valley UU, in addition to sharing his sermons with our congregation. He has also done public workshops on paganism and the Bardic Druid path since 1995. He's also had the great privilege to conduct many pagan weddings and a baby blessing. His sermon will be on spring equinox, known as Ostara, a time for balance in our lives, renewal, and respect for Mother Earth.
Well, thank you for that wonderful introduction, Barry. And blessed be everyone in a very happy spring equinox to all. Forgive me for writing such a very long title to the sermon, Ostara, a time for balance in our lives, renewal, and time for respect of Mother Earth. But the number 3 is very symbolic for the triple goddess, the Mother Earth. And all pagan religions, hence time here is threefold: a time for balance in our lives, a time for renewal, a time for honoring all of creation, that is the Earth Mother, the goddess. My opening equinox prayer here is: the dancing hare foretells the spring, worth of fertility and new life this time does bring. Gay Ostara dances on the earth as seeds and flowers come to birth. Tulips and daffodils come into bloom, and life sprouts from the mother earth's womb. Chickens lay their eggs now that the light is growing. Catkins and blossoms on the trees are showing. The sun reaches forth with his hand to the maiden of flowers return to the land. Their dance brings new balance into our life, planting the seeds to overcome strife. We grow with the flowers and the trees, winter's gloom banished on a spring breeze. The joy of new birth enters our hearts as we look forward to Beltane's love. I'll cast the circle around with the energy forming and developing us with the privilege of containing our energy in to again release it out into the earth. I call upon now the elements of air to join us. Element of the air in the east. Element of fire in the south. Element of water in the west. Element of earth in the north. The sacred spirit that joins us all together, Akasha, we now invoke you and ask you to come and join. Hail to the God, the sun, who brings us the light, and join us now within our right. And hail to the mother, mother, maiden, and crone of spring, who brings us now. And to your praises we sing. We're now together between the worlds. Thank you, everyone. The wheel of the year turns on, bringing us to and from each season and from one section of the Earth's spinning around the sun to another. What will be is, what was will be. All time is here now in the sacred space. We now pause to watch the wheel turn and gather so that we may celebrate the season of balance known as Ostara. In this moment between times, on this day of spring, we come to praise the bountiful, fertile young goddess and her son lover for the blessings of fertility, warmth, and life renewed. Wish to give thanks and feel ourselves a part of the relentlessly turning wheel of life, death, and rebirth. This is a day of balance. Dark and light come together as equals, as do our young goddess and god. We're blessed here in the Valley of the Sun with a mild winter compared to the rest of the nation, much of which is usually under a blanket of snow at this time of year and extremely cold weather. In fact, as I was growing up in rural Pennsylvania on top of a mountain, February and March are the coldest months of the years where I lived, with heavy snows. It seems like spring takes forever to arrive when you're living up on top of a mountain in the middle of winter. But guess what? Spring is officially here as of 2:37 a.m. this past Saturday morning. The vernal equinox or spring equinox, And for me personally, I've always been amazed at just how close these sounds are next to each other. Easter, Ostara, Equinox. The Druids today that have reconstituted a faith, and those that are members of the order of Bards, Ovids, and Druids, headquartered in England, call the spring equinox Alban Eliar, a time of great balance. It is at that point of balance between the February 2nd, called Imbolc, and May 1st, Beltane. Right in the middle we are. And it's the point of balance, too, between day and night, a perfect time to open the quality of balance in our own lives. The University of Missouri's Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity Division shares their research on ancient pagan customs during Equinox Ostara. 2,000 years ago across the world, there were a variety of pagan religions which markedly similar themes of a god who dies and is reborn at this time of the year. He represents the vegetative cycles of the year. The grain grows and is cut down only to be reborn again. The trees lose their leaves and seem to die only to bud once more. In ancient Phrygia, in modern-day Asia Minor, for example, the spring equinox marked the resurrection of Attis, a vegetation god and lover of the goddess Cybele. In ancient Rome, the 10-day festival in honor of Attis began on March 15th. A pine tree representing Attis was chopped down, wrapped in a linen shroud, decorated with violets, and placed in a sepulchre in the temple. On the Day of Blood, or Black Friday, the priests of the cult gashed themselves with knives as they danced ecstatically, sympathizing with Cybele in her grief and helping to restore Attis to life. 2 days later, a priest opened the sepulchre at dawn, revealing that it was empty and announcing that the god was saved. This day was known as Hilaria, or the Day of Joy, a time of feasting and merriment. This is also a theme explored in the Christian feast of Easter. According to the 7th, 8th century era English monk Bede, the Christian holiday of Easter was named after the Saxon goddess of spring, Ostara. There are so many quotes about spring from so many famous people. I just had to pick a few, and these are some favorites that I hope you might agree with. Behold, my friends, the spring has come. The earth has gladly received the embraces of the sun, and we shall soon see the results of their love. That's from Sitting Bull. Mark Twain wrote, in the spring, I have counted 136 different kinds of weather within 24 hours. Rainer Maria Rilke wrote, it's spring again. The earth is like a child that knows poems by heart. And of course, Shakespeare. April hath put a spirit of youth in everything. And my personal favorite out of the bunch, Robin Williams wrote, spring is the nature's way of saying, let's party. Just think spring break there. Around the world, Ostara, the spring equinox, are indeed causes for celebrations. Many of us may be familiar with the Christian Easter holiday with traditions involving Easter egg hunts and giving Easter baskets. In India, at this time of the year, it is the Hindu festival of Holi, which commemorates the victory of good over evil, particularly the burning and destruction of a demoness named Holika. This was made possible with the help of the Hindu god of preservation, Lord Vishnu. Holi got its name as the festival of colors from the childhood antics of Lord Krishna, a reincarnation of Lord Vishnu, who liked to play pranks on the village girls by drenching them in water and colors. People today in India dress in white and run through the streets throwing brightly colored powders of pink, purple, yellow, red, and other colors at each other, trying on purpose to get as much color on themselves and others as possibly one can. In Thailand, it's the time now for the Songkran Water Festival, and people from all over the world come there to embrace their inner child with the world's biggest water fight. As one observer described it, locals and tourists alike take to the streets equipped with cannon-sized water guns, pressure hoses, and buckets ready to drench anyone in their path. But there's a serious side to that festival there. It's also a time to visit elders praying at local Buddhist monasteries. Songkran is from the Sanskrit word for astrological passage and is celebrated in Thailand as New Year's Day. Every year in Gloucester, England, during the second bank holiday weekend, and this year happens to fall on Good Friday, April 2nd, the Gloucester cheese rolling takes place on Cooper's Hill. A 9-pound wrapped wheel of cheese is thrown down the very steep 200-meter hill, and 1 second later, competitors literally throw themselves down after it, running at first, falling, rolling, getting up to run again, and fall once more and roll. Winner gets the cheese. Bruises, bloody knees, and broken bones are not uncommon at this incredible, intense celebration, a slightly rougher way to celebrate spring, but it's a 200-year-old tradition upheld by the local community. Here in the United States, the White House Easter roll has been held over the years, a tradition since 1814 that takes place on Easter Monday. Children roll eggs with wooden spoons across the White House lawn, racing to see who gets their egg across the finish line first, with all competitors earning Easter eggs and prizes. The Earth is right now at a seasonal balance on the cosmic scale of equilibrium, and letting our inner meditative spirit, as we touch it into ourselves, reach forth. As we embrace this idea, we can spark fertility and bring forth new ideas, better ways for us to balance our lives, and in doing so, we become an asset to ourselves as well as to others. Once we mentally make the choice to seek an inner balance, focusing on the equinox, the egg, Ostara, or any sense of symbol that would help you think of balance, perhaps the scales or Libra, we personally envision that symbol, and that symbol of balance becomes literally a golden ticket, as it were, or an e-coupon for those of you that remember things at Disneyland. And it fosters that idea of balance, whatever that symbol is we create, a sense of balance within ourselves as the earth is in balance. For some, this balance can be reached in spiritual, ritual, or music, a hike to one's favorite destination, or many other activities one feels at one with oneself. The inner spiritual peace of balance we seek can often be fleeting, but its memory is forever. And remembering it during times of stress, sadness, or other times of imbalance can bring us back to our personally created symbol of balance, and let that balance again become part of ourselves. The Earth Mother needs us to be in balance, seeking balance within our lives and others as best we can be. Balance in our thoughts, balance in what we eat, how much we exercise, because once we're in balance, the healing occurs, not only to ourselves, but newly given the sense of balance, we can go forth and take physical actions, spiritual energies, and other needed directions to help the Earth Mother. Planting a tree, gardening, working on a conservation project, promoting societies and clubs that strive to make a difference in the pollution and destruction of the earth, such as the local Sonoran Audubon Society, Sierra Club Grand Canyon Chapter, or the Arizona Wildlife Federation, just to name a few. At Ostara, spring equinox, legend and popular myth is that you can balance an egg on its end only at this time of year. Is it true? Could this mean that there is a balance we can seek in our lives this time of spring? There's only 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of night? Of course. The best part of balance is that you don't need to wait for spring Ostara or the equinox. You can seek balance anytime. Ostara itself is a powerful symbol of balance. Symbology, as I mentioned, is very powerful, and it's been used for centuries in religions around the world for an image to create multiple meanings, touching the interdimensions of our soul and physical being on the many planes of existence. The egg, as I mentioned earlier, is a symbol, both simple and complex at the same time. The Easter egg, food and nourishment, fun memories of coloring Easter eggs, hiding and finding them, concept of what came first, the chicken or the egg. The symbol of the Easter egg at this time of Ostara, Easter, is a perfect time, as I mentioned, for bringing forth new ideas, new beginnings, and a deeper respect for Earth Mother and personal renewal. Look at the egg, a promise of fertility, new life waiting to be born, delicate and fragile, but with a hard shell outside. Sharing our positive energies into a focus on the egg will allow us to incubate it and hatch forth new ideas. We must be strong, hard-boiled in our resolve to persevere when our newly hatched ideas are criticized and fried by others or ridiculed for being scrambled all over the place. Relax and breathe. Easy over time, these newly hatched ideas will grow into fruition. One pagan tradition of this time of the year is making a magical symbol on a hard-boiled egg, focusing your intention, energizing the egg with focused energy, eating it, and ingesting the intention within yourself. Spell work within the pagan faith can take many forms. One is using visualization. Close your eyes now for a moment and allow your eyes to form a soft gaze down in front of you. Picture an intention in your mind, something you've really wanted to do that you feel will foster within you a personal renewal of spirit, however you conceive it. Now, picture yourself holding an egg in your hand, putting your focus and energy into that egg you hold of your own personal intention of spirit renewal. Focus here for a moment. Now, in your mind, envision a second intention, one that involves creating and maintaining balance in your life. Here we respect ourselves and our intentions. Now focus again your energy, visualizing your second intention into the egg that you pictured into your mind. Now let this mystical egg you've created float up and away from your hands, turn into a golden orb of energy, and enter the center of your body, releasing your intentions into yourself, allowing them to explode forth within you, bringing inner renewal and a direction of purpose to fulfill your intention of personal spirit renewal and balance. Take a deep breath and exhale. Now inhale through your nose, filling your abdomen, midsection with air, now your lungs, your chest, your shoulders, all the way to the top of your head. Hold this for a moment. And exhale through your mouth and do it again once more at your own pace. Blessed be your breath. May your breathing be deep and relaxed. May you breathe in power with each breath you take. Blessed be the fire inside you. May your will be unbroken, and may you be as strong as fire and supple. May your passions burn truly and freely. Blessed be your fire. May it burn strong. Blessed be the waters of your life. May your blood be strong. May the flow from your loins be joyful and fertile. Blessed be all your life's waters. Blessed be the earth of your body. May your muscles be strong and fearless. May your heart beat with love, soul, vigor, and courage. Blessed be your body, which is the body of the God and Goddess. Blessed be your spirit. May you always have health and spirit. May you be whole. May you always have community. May we always have community. May you be prosperous in all ways. May you love and be loved. May your voice, both your complaints and your special offerings to the world, be truly heard. May you always be surrounded by the warmth of family and community. May you know the innate goddess and goodness of your being. In the name of Aphrodite and Hephaestus, I send these blessings to you. Open your eyes. So let it be. A colleague of mine who grew up in Pennsylvania described why this time of year with stars sparks a happy memory. He said, when the weather gets warm again and you experience the first view of the first warm day, especially after the winter, a long winter, you know spring has come. For many members of the Wiccan, Druid, Pagan, earth-centered religions, spring equinox, Ostara, today is a high holy day, a major event celebrating fertility. It's also known as one of the Sabbats or points of time within the pagan wheel of the year. At this time, we celebrate the goddess conceiving the God's child, who will be born this coming winter solstice. High Priestess Selena Fox of Circle Sanctuary summarizes very well this symbology of our pagan tradition and celebration. She wrote, the goddess manifests as Ostara or Ostra with her basket of eggs. She is accompanied by the hare or rabbit manifestation of the god. Green has been sacred to the Sabbath since ancient times because it represents the greening of the land with vegetation. This is a festival of new growth. She recommends pagan at this time of year make dishes with egg in it and share them. Wear green in honor of the earth and celebrate new growth, and of course set up egg hunts. This is a time to bless your garden and your flower seeds before you plant them. Within our theme of representing Earth Mother today, here is a prayer that we use at the Sacred Spiral Pagan Church. O cosmic goddess and creator of all that is, I come before you, a child of Mother Earth and Father Sky, with sadness in my heart and hope in my soul. I raise energy at this time and send my prayers to the universe, energies that connect all of Earth's creatures, to the four elemental powers, my ancestors, and all the unborn souls that are yet to be. I send forth prayers for the beautiful Earth Mother, that she will be healed from the devastation that mankind has bestowed upon her. I send my prayers for Father Sky, that the earth will be clean and pure for all who live upon the earth to enjoy. I send prayers for the oceans and all the life it supports. I send my prayers for all my brothers and sisters who walk, crawl, fly, and swim, that they can thrive upon the earth. I send my prayers to my human brothers and sisters, that they become one race, the human race, that they may share peacefully all the bounties you have provided and live peaceably upon this earth with love as their guide. To the good spirits that exist in every part of creation, I ask you that you hear our prayers. So let it be. And now symbolically, close circles and ask that the elementals that have joined us, the goddess, the god, spirit of Kasha, please depart now in peace. Stay if you will. The circle is open. Blessed be everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren, for your enlightening and meaningful words. I flash on two different things. One is homeostasis, the sense of balance within the body. And then completely different, spring break, which probably doesn't have a lot of balance in it from what I can tell. But anyway, thank you very much, Darren. Now, please join me in reading our mission statement, which Paul will put on our screen. Even though I will be the only one you can hear on the screen, please read it with me. We agree to provide a safe place to celebrate diversity, draw inspiration for living better lives, foster social and environmental justice, and compassionately support each other in our spiritual searches. As I extinguish the chalice, I want to thank everyone who made this service possible. Paul for hosting, Joe, Jeanette, Lily, and Darren for the music, and Reverend Darren for our talk. I also want to thank all those who work behind the scenes to make this church a going concern. As a benediction, I would like to read this: A Power at Work in the Universe by Tom Shade. My friends, there is a power at work in the universe. One second. There is a power at work in the universe. It works through human hands, but it was not made by human hands. It is a creative, sustaining, and transforming power, and we can trust that power with our lives and with our ministries. It will sustain us whenever we take a stand on the side of love, whenever we take a stand for peace and justice, whenever we take a risk. Trust in that power. We are, together, held by that power. We will now stop recording and go to our postlude.